right, let's talk about the new level system on Fiverr. And I know that it's been a very controversial topic because this has been a new thing right now, and there are a lot of panic from other sellers and a lot of misunderstanding as well how this might affect your freelancing journey. So from what I've seen so far over the last several days, and what we've been kind of following with, is that of course Fiverr wants to have, let's say, more control. They want to have more quality, they want to have more satisfaction from the buyers, and eventually this level system, it wasn't updated for a very long time. They've been making some smaller updates to this system, but eventually it was just kind of like left off for a long time period. And honestly, I've seen this coming. I kind of like seen that, okay, this is something they definitely need to change, because when you go right now to other gigs, you'll probably see a lot of 5-star reviews, a lot of 5-star sellers. And Fiverr, since they're a public company, they have a lot of pressure from not just the decisions are made by the people who make the decisions, but also the people who are involved in the organization, such as investors, shareholders, people who are also investing their money into Fiverr. And since they're publicly traded, this kind of like adds some sort of responsibility for those people as well. And of course with Fiverr, whenever they make some changes, I think it usually impacts maybe negatively at the beginning, because there's been always misunderstanding on this, or in practice this might result a different outcome than they hoped for. This already happened before with the feedback, when they were starting to implement private feedback, also with canceled orders. So like when you deliver your order right now, and then if you decide to go for a refund, the buyer is still able to leave a review, which I think maybe doesn't make sense as much, because they're getting a full refund. So why would they be upset with this sort of experience? But maybe Fiverr will be changing that in the future. I think from what I've seen on the platform so far, I believe there is not enough influence from the top sellers, from sellers who are established, who are making a living on Fiverr, meaning that they do this for full time. There is lack of community. There are a lot of sellers who want to be on Fiverr, beginner sellers, but there is a sort of a lack of this established seller. So I hope maybe by you guys watching this video, or maybe going forward, maybe, I don't know, I'm always thinking about some ideas, but I understand that if I will make some community or a platform like this, I need to dedicate most of my time. And right now my time is involving growing my agency. I do run this YouTube channel, hopefully for you to be kind of like seeing what is possible out there as a Fiverr freelancer. So maybe you can learn from my journey, maybe you can learn from my mistakes or my experience as well. At the same time, I try to run the newsletter as well. So if you don't know about it, feel free to click the link in the description. I'm also going to be giving away free course as well when you subscribe to it, or when I release a new newsletter, you'll be able to see it as well. Let's see what is with the level system. So first of all, this completely changed. Right now, we have our success score, meaning that if I want to maintain my top rate seller, my success score should be minimum at 9, right? 9 out of 10. So when I click on my success score, right now it basically divides by the gigs I have, right? So I have my 2 main gigs, which is growing your Instagram account. They both have a 10 score, and when I click on this gig, it just has positive impact, and that's pretty much it. So okay, this is at least the good news, because for example, in the other gig I have, where I'm creating Instagram content and I'm growing their account, I'm getting a negative impact for client satisfaction and order cancellations. So this has been giving a negative impact. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure why it is, because we don't really get cancellations on this gig as much. On the other 2 gigs, we're getting a lot more cancellations, because the buyers are purchasing by mistake. They don't know what's going to be happening. So it's really confusing at the beginning. And I think maybe the biggest, in my opinion, and I'm making this video not to expose some Fiverr secrets or things, that I'm making this video to show you my sort of evaluation of this system and what I think that could be done better, or it's confusing at the moment. So in my case, Fiverr decided to be more transparent with how they ranking your gigs, because I assume that this has been always there. We just never seen it before. But in the back end, we always had these numbers. That's how we were determined by our ranking in the search and other criteria as well. So right now, when this is released, we have more questions, because why I'm getting a negative impact for here, or for example, if I go to my social content creation gig, I'm getting client satisfaction, strong negative impact. How does it determine? So we have more questions, because I never received a negative review or a bad, unhappy client here. All of my orders on this gig has been very happy. Clients are coming back as well, so it's a bit confusing here for me as well. What I can see that my 2 gigs which are here, those 2 Instagram growth gigs, the reason why they're probably ranked 10, because I'm getting a large number of orders on a daily basis, and I'm delivering a lot. So I think, and that's what, in my opinion, Fiverr is good for, is for these services that are coming in a volume, and you're able to deliver them, on a daily basis, and you're having orders again. So services like social media marketing, where it's a subscription service, let's say, these gigs will probably perform much better, because clients are always coming back, they're ordering again, so you always have a chance to improve, and eventually when you get cancellations or anything like that, that's not going to be really impacting you. Versus when you have less orders, maybe you have a few orders per month, but maybe let's say 2 out of 5 orders didn't go as well, then it could destroy your rankings completely. And that's how sellers are questioning, because they are even on level 0, because they are just not able to meet this sort of a progress tracker. So I think Fiverr, when they implemented this system, in my opinion, it just adds an extra stress on the freelancers, because they are questioning even more. Because when we had a less maybe transparent system, where we just had this score, maybe we didn't have as many questions. But now when we're able to see all of these rankings on the gigs, we're probably questioning ourselves even more. Why does this order impacting negatively or positively? So yes, there's definitely a downside from this, because you might be checking this very often. You might be also questioning yourself. You might be going crazy with yourself that, oh, if this gonna be a 10 score or 9 score, or if I'm gonna lose my badge for next month. So I understand that this is concerning, but let's take a positive look at this. And the positive look at this is that you need to first understand that Fiverr maybe should not be all your eggs on Fiverr, because at the end, anything can happen with your account. You can get disabled, banned, or you can get warnings. I hope none of this will happen to you, but you're not insured, because anything can happen on the platform. The same with my experience. Anything can happen to my Fiverr journey. And I had experiences before where, some things didn't go well, and I had to, check and double check, and eventually, there are certain things that you're not insured. You need to be very careful when you are on the platform. You need to follow the rules. You need to be always monitoring what's new, what you can say, what you cannot say. That's why I encourage to really get a success manager if you can, because at least you can build some sort of relationship with that success manager, and he or she can guide you on your journey. And that way you feel more secured, and you also build a good, hopefully, connection with that person, so he can kind of like guide you even better. But in my case, I see Fiverr as a way, okay, you're doing maybe well, maybe not. Fiverr, it's great to just establish yourself, because you can grow as a freelancer really well on Fiverr. You'll be more disciplined, you'll be learning about communication. It's a huge school for you to be successful going forward. But when you look at this, you should work on building things outside of Fiverr as soon as possible as well. At least starting with building a personal brand. What you can do, you can start creating content on the LinkedIn. You can start creating content on Instagram. You really need to take this step and go out of your comfort zone, because it's good that Fiverr is growing, you're getting, let's say, orders, but what happens if you will not be growing, right? And yes, now you're comfortable, now you have, your work to do, you're enjoying as well. The same for me. I mean, my run has not been always as successful in Fiverr. I'm saying this because I know how it feels to be at zero. So my journey right now, yes, it is very successful. I'm very thankful for everything I've done on the platform and hope I can continue to grow, continue to improve as well. But for example, if I go back to 2020, you can see I've been not on Fiverr. And especially when I came back in 2021, I had to start from zero, and it took me a really long time to kind of like come back to and get all the levels again, go through this evaluation process. I also quit being pro and became non-pro, then I again applied for pro. So my journey has been turbulent. It's been up and down, but what I learned from the Fiverr is that you can definitely build your career, you can definitely make the living from Fiverr, but you should not always think that Fiverr is all you have, because with these levels, with this system, yes, it's going to be stressful, but you should not look at this as something like, okay, this will destroy my career. You should work on building your brand, personal brand outside, so like this you can at least, you know, build your credibility with potential buyers who are coming, because even now buyers come to you and they say, okay, who are you? You don't want to be treated by the buyers like you are just a freelancer. You want to be treated by buyers as an expert, so that they look at you and they say, wow, he or she is doing really well, because I can see on their profile that you are posting, let's say, consistently, you have a brand, you have a personal brand. It's the same in, you know, in other industries, in other companies. You look at brands, you know, like big brands like Nike, for example. Of course, they're huge, established, you know, but then there's other sport brands who are not as established, but people know that brand Nike and they will go there. So the same with you. I mean, you need to start small. But what I've seen when Fiverr makes something new, some new change, some new, you know, sort of evaluation, it needs to be a step for you to grow your brand outside and build that personal brand. In my case, I don't know how this will be impacting my journey, because right now I'm okay, I'm passing my success score and things like that, but that might not be the case in maybe next month or 2 months. We never know. So I try to look at this as a way, okay, I'm there, I can see my scores, great, but I don't want to be looking at this every single day. I want to focus on growing my business. I want to focus on scaling the agency, hiring more team members, finding unique ways on how you can grow your agency, meaning that if it's on Fiverr, you can find ways where I've been discussing this as well, how you can kind of like push the traffic. You can work with Fiverr affiliates, for example. You can be promoting your gigs on other blogs as well, on articles. You can find many ways. You can go to other YouTube channels and negotiate and make a deal that they will promote your Fiverr profile. I think it's all in your head, because you need to really look at this and say, okay, this gives me opportunity, I'm growing, but let's use this as it now it works well, but let's build something that you have a full control, so you don't need to be dependent on any change or review system or level system, that you can just focus on your work. Fiverr is still, you need to understand that they want to improve their quality, because what I'm still seeing on Fiverr is that a lot of sellers who are providing really bad service, and they are maybe even scamming potential customer. And the customer, even they come to me, they're like, oh, I want to grow my Instagram, but I use other freelancer who just added fake followers. And you know, the buyers know that Fiverr, okay, because it used to be a $5 thing. So that's why Fiverr is trying to change this. They're trying to attract higher, more professional freelancers, established freelancers to be on the platform. They're trying to make all these changes. They will be making more stricter things. I'm sure that this is not the last thing they have implemented. You know, they're gonna make even stricter policies going forward. They will be making more evaluations. They're probably going to be going maybe in the manual review of sellers. Maybe you'll have to jump on a Zoom call with one of the Fiverr team members and they will be evaluating your job. Yes, I mean, I would say it's normal for the platform to do this, because at the end of the day, they're very big. They need to be having some sort of quality checks and improvements, and they need to present this to the whole world because they're publicly traded on New York Stock Exchange. So yes, unfortunately, it is what it is, but let's not take a look at this and be like, okay, this is bad, Fiverr is bad, all of this is bad. You know, I understand that people are complaining in the forum. When you go to the forum and people are saying, oh, you should change this. Instead of, in my opinion, what could be much more powerful is that we could, of course, build like a community. And when there is change like this, maybe Fiverr will be able to listen to us, because we will come as a group and we will be able to show what could be done better, why this is not working or why this is working. I think when things are done in that way, in the community way, and because Fiverr, let's say in my case, okay, I'm doing 40K now, 40 plus K per month. Yes, Fiverr takes 20% as well. It's already after 20%, but still, let's say making 50, 60K, right? They will take 20%, so I'm left off with 45 plus K per month. And imagine how many, let's say you take 10 sellers like that, right? I mean, that's a big number that Fiverr already getting from all of us. So maybe they'll be able to listen, maybe they'll be able to build also a system where we can be involved more, we can provide our feedback, we never know, but we still need to kind of like make that step and be able to reunite together. Maybe I will be able to work on something like this. It will be nice to build that community, but I don't have exact plans. I'm just saying to you that you should definitely work on things that are outside of Fiverr, that you have a full control of that. So right now, it's still too early because this system will be implemented in March. So in March, people will be start getting hit by this level system positively or negatively. We're gonna see. I don't know yet how this will impact my journey. I don't know if I was always at 10 or not before, but I know in my case, anything can happen because I've been in these situations like where I had to refund thousands of dollars to clients because I was not able to do my service because of the changes in social media, in the industry and other things. So yes, I'm ready for this as well. And I know that if something works well now, it's always gonna be maybe a short term. It's not gonna be a long term unless you think more long term and you build it more as a long-term thing. So guys, once again, this was my overview. I don't really see it as a crazy negative impact. I see it as an opportunity. Yes, it's more strict. There are a lot of questions we don't know. There are a lot of things how they're able to do this. Hopefully Fiverr will be able to tell us more about how this works because they have their workshops, they have their webinars that they're hosting as well and explaining about that. But in your case, if you look at this and you're like, okay, I am actually suffering from this, I think it's good to take a step back maybe and say, okay, I will continue my journey on Fiverr, but this is the time for me to start thinking about my personal brand and start thinking about, okay, how I can build that so I can attract clients who will come to me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube, right? So you can just pick one platform. You don't need to be everywhere. With this YouTube channel, I'm only talking mostly about Fiverr freelancing. So that's what I'm talking. That's why you're probably watching this video as well, because you want to learn more. Maybe you want to see how, I don't know, I'm progressing or my mistakes or positive things. But this is the reality of social media and growing your personal brand. Please let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to share in the comments your opinion about this level system. I might have another update video because right now it's still new. There are still questions and it's still not clear. But this is a great opportunity to build something as well, not only on the platform. And please feel free to check my newsletter. I'm going to be writing a new I would say a new newsletter, so you'll be able to see some new updates and also get some stuff. I'm happy to share my course for free with you so you can learn more. And if you have any questions, you can always respond either in the comments, or if you get my newsletter, you can just respond to my newsletter and I'm always responding. And feel free to connect with me on Instagram as well. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.